On today's edition of The Front Row, our special guest is Corbin Despain, a longtime member of our community, graduate of the university, has gone on to great things. He's in town, and we're taking the opportunity to get to visit with him. Corbin, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So just what I'd like to do today is just talk about your journey. And because it's been a really interesting one. And let's just kind of start at the beginning. You're from Lubbock, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was born in California, raised in Lubbock. Great mom who was an opera singer in her time, and that's where my love of music came, and now here we are a little bit.
Right, exactly. So you're from this area, and then tell us which schools you went to.
Yeah, so my alma mater, my high school, was Lubbock High School, and then I went to Texas Tech University for my undergraduate in music education, voice concentration. Then I went to the Conservatory of Cincinnati for a master's in voice performance. I'm still actually working towards completion of that. I got sucked into more full-time ministry and love what I'm doing, so I'm just taking a little time there, licensing as a pastor as well right now. And I've done a lot of things. I have a weird hodgepodge of experience. So I've done some project management certifications as well, and so anything music, arts, admin related, I'm all about.
That's great. Well, that's a lot of things to unpack.
Yeah.
Let me take you back to Lubbock High.
Yep.
When did you realize that music was important? When did it speak to you?
Yeah, actually, that would have been in elementary at Majan.
Okay.
My teacher then was Josie Smith. She went on to Keller ISD to teach. She actually came back to retire, but I have very vivid memories of learning about composers by silly ways like Schubert, like sherbet ice cream, or Wolfgang, as an imagery of a wolf for Mozart. Things like that. I remember learning solfege very, very early. Recorder, learning, just getting to do some honor choir stuff, and it was like my safe space. It was like the place where I could be me, and I thrived. Went on to show choirs with Debbie Gelber at O.L. Slayton, and loved that, and went right into choir in high school under the direction of Robin Dent, and that, I think, is where my love of music education, choral education specifically, and then just cutting my teeth on singing more came about. So,
right,
yeah.
Right. So you had a great basis already just in the public schools.
Yeah.
And a musical mother, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. To encourage you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good. And then on to Texas Tech.
Yep.
And your teacher was?
Carl Dent.
All right. Excellent. Yeah. And tell us about things you did at Tech.
Oh, gosh. I feel like I did a lot at Tech. I got to do a few operas while I was there, more focused in the music education side. So a lot of concerts with Rick Biella. We went to TMEA a couple times. A lot of choir tours, getting other young students excited and just about choral and choral education. Did a lot of recitals. I actually did a piano recital to try to pass out of piano theory and all that. So that was fun. I actually took wind and band methods as well because I was directing from the age of 19 while I was at Tech. I was directing at Lake Ridge. And so there, part of my responsibilities were to direct the orchestra. And so I felt, oh man, this would be really good to get experience. And Dr. Eric Allen, who's at the university there still, he had encouraged me to take some methods in that just to bolster those skills and work with these volunteers. Right. So I've done a lot of crazy things.
Just broad base is amazing to me. And you and I got to do a lot of stuff together when you were in school, particularly in choir.
Yep.
And that was lots of fun because you were so versatile. You could be a splendid tenor, but you could also sing alto occasionally.
Yep.
You did all kinds of things. I had such respect for that.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. And TMEAs that you mentioned, that's Texas Music Educators Association. That's a big deal. And the choir went a couple of times, as you said. We had a great experience.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. So your time at Tech comes to an end.
Yes.
What did you decide to do next?
Yeah, Again, I was directing at Lake Ridge for a while. I felt like, okay, I'd been in school full time. Now I needed to focus and give what I could to the ministry because they had supported me through my degree. So I stayed around for a few years and I continued to grow that program and dug in there, loved it. And then I just really felt led to kind of pursue my passion for opera and that dream that I'd always had as a child, listening to my mom sing opera and going, I think I want to do that. So I applied to all of my dream graduate schools, got into IU. I thought I would do sacred music accompanied in tandem with a voice degree. So I did.
That's Indiana University.
Yeah, Indiana
right?
University. Yeah. So I did receive scholarship to do those programs as well. But when I had auditioned at the conservatory at Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, the community just felt like the right fit. Great teachers, the faculty was amazing. They're really well known on the map for music.
They're a big conservatory.
For voice.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
And it just spoke to me. It just felt like the right fit. So I went, started pursuing that wholeheartedly, loved it. Then kind of realized that performing opera kind of as my sole base or just being an opera singer wasn't maybe really gonna be for me. I didn't feel like I wanted to fight that fight. I kind of realized in myself that I wanted to support other people more in their music journey and give them a platform than I necessarily wanted that platform for myself. And that might sound a little odd. I love to perform, but it's a really cutthroat industry if people know anything about opera. And so rather than kind of fighting those battles, I was getting a lot of work in the Cincinnati area, singing with a lot of professional choirs, getting to sing with Queen City Opera and doing professional work already. And I was directing at Epiphany United Methodist there full time. And it kind of all pieced together. Like I had the music life that I had envisioned. I get to make money, make a living, doing exactly what I love to do. I get to direct, I get to sing, I play violin, I play piano. I get to do all the things, which is weird for some, right? It's slightly unfocused, but it really works in my world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great. And that's where you are now?
Yep.
Okay.
In Cincinnati.
And you mentioned ministry a couple of times. And so obviously you feel led and called to do these things.
Yeah.
How has that part of you developed?
Yeah. I have a very interesting background in the church. I grew up Mormon, went non-denominational, the whole time singing for Methodist choirs. At that time, it was under the direction of Chris Betts at First UMC. And so that's probably a lot of where my love for the Methodist tradition came from. But yeah, long story short, had a lot of church experience in different ways. And then through Lake Ridge and going into Epiphany, I realized that calling to music ministry, to building up volunteers, not necessarily paying professionals all the time, but people that are there because their heart tells them that this is how they should serve, and that's where they feel God is calling them to serve. And so you get some amazing musical experiences out of that with people who are there because they feel so led in their heart, right? And so kind of the joy and experience of building programs from nothing, I kind of really thrive on that. Like I love the idea of like, okay, what do we have and where can we go and where can we build and how many resources are here in the community and that are untapped that people haven't been given the opportunity to do. So so that's kind of how all that went. And then all the while I've had a deep love of scripture and specifically in the social justice minded arena, like how do we make the Bible still applicable to people, especially that have been traumatized by the church? Because unfortunately that happens a lot and it shouldn't. So how do we make a safe space for people to wrestle with this scripture that should kind of that stands the test of time, right? Because it kind of fits in each era. And I think that happens through the Bible being this living word rather than this complete absolute, I have a lot of theories around that, right? So with that, I started getting some opportunities to preach in the pulpit, and kind of felt called to pastoral leadership in a way. So I'm looking kind of towards associate pastor of music and worship, and working on my license for that. And I don't know. I just feel really lucky and blessed to do all the things that I do. And
well, that will be a great opportunity for you, and a blessing for the people with whom you work. That's for sure. Yeah. Exactly. So what do you think? What are some of the pages in the future that you would like to write? What's still on your palette that you would like to do?
Oh gosh. Well, there's an easy answer to that first. I am part of my love for sacred music, and Carl Dent really instilled this in me, this love of Baroque and sacred and classical, but early Baroque specifically, so J.S. Bach. I've been very fortunate to study a lot of cantata. And so my dream would be to perform a lot more cantata. I sing with St. Thomas Bach Choir in Cincinnati, which is a professional ensemble there. And I've had the fortunate opportunity to sing a lot of cantatas. So I think that is like my initial dream right now, is how do I do that more professionally? Singing the Passions would be, that is the dream, right? And I've gotten one opportunity, and then recently, actually not Bach, but Charles Wood's St. Mark Passion. I just performed that at the Cathedral downtown in Cincinnati. Amazing experience. So the more that I can plug into that'd be amazing. It also kind of fits in my world of ministry in a way.
Right.
So
sure. Well, I completely agree with you that you are so attuned to that. That's absolutely right. But at the same time, there's this eclectic thing about you. Violin, piano, choral music of all types.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You really are just a Renaissance musician. It's really great.
Yeah. I haven't thought about it that much in that term, but yes, that makes sense.
Oh, that's true. Well, I certainly want to encourage you, as always. And it's so great to have you in town for just a little bit, that we can visit with you and catch up with you. And we certainly wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you so much, Clint.
Our guest on the front row today has been Corbin Despain. Corbin, best of luck. Talk to you soon.